Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online. Specifically in this stream, I plan to talk about the Brawler class, the potential Brawler class at least, while I am running some Moria instances on my Beorning. And I am kind of late because apparently I have a lot of troubles with LOTRO and OBS today. But I think that is all fixed. So I think what happened is LOTRO decided to boot up in the 32-bit version, and that like totally messed up everything with OBS somehow. And I guess that's what happened. So I had to basically redo everything, reset up everything, and that's why it took forever. But I will be joining the Discord for my kin, and just so everybody knows how that works, I'm on like push to talk and you all hear the in-game audio but not the Discord audio. And I'm just making sure that everything is set up right. Hello. Okay, so it looks like all is set up right and all the audio is working. Just had issues getting OBS to actually capture LOTRO. But as I mentioned today, I'm going to be doing Moria instances with my kin on my Beorning, but talking a little bit in the free time about the Brawler class. As anybody who probably usually watches my streams would know, I get distracted a lot by the gameplay, and of course chat can go in different directions, which I like. I like talking about different things, but just during downtime I plan to talk a little bit about the Brawler. Actually, I need to ask my kin. I don't know if any of them have heard of it. So have you all heard of the Brawler? As far as what I do during the downtime while we're waiting for the instances to boot up, this character once again getting distracted, so I need to adjust my sound settings. There we go. During the downtime, I actually decided I was going to take this character to Mirkwood and do the quest there. But it looks like we are starting up with Scumfill for this instance. This one's pretty interesting. Got a whole bunch of Kurgram and Grodbog, and then spiders later on. Oh yeah, one thing I usually mean to do on my characters is get my... I might actually try this real quick. Yeah, it was too scary. So I'm going to breed to get my VIP daily, and that comes with a subscribers jug. I feel like I'm going super slow at this stream. I guess having trouble getting that stuff set up and getting back in. It's been a while since I've streamed. I've had just a lot going on these past couple days, and one thing I haven't gotten to yet is this weekend I expect to be busy. I have an exam Monday that I need to get studying for, but taking breaks to stream will be good. Okay, so I'm good to go back. But with this you get the subscribers jug, so that prevents item wear. And I can also sell. So I don't think this pocket item, I saw I had this, I didn't even know I got it, but this pocket item I think would... Actually, I don't know how much morale vitality gives on a Beorning. They kind of changed all that. I think it's close to 5. Yeah, it looks close to 5. So I'll go ahead and sell that. And if anybody is having any issues with the stream, do let me know, because it looks like I'm deciding to drop a few frames today. More than usual. Usually I have no issues dropping frames unless OBS goes crazy, which is a possible thing today. I just see my playback is like totally messed up. I'm also having issues with chat apparently, so I just opened a web page to make sure I wasn't missing anything with that. So hello Eduardo Mario, sorry for ignoring your question, and hello John Doe as well. I think we need to kill pretty much every enemy in here anyway, so, or eventually we will, so we can go ahead and pull the free packs. But this is a pre-made group. Pretty much it's my Kinship on Anor here that I'm running with. The group finder in LOTRO, if you're talking specifically about that, that doesn't really work. But as far as like doing a pickup group searching randomly for these players, I did not. We have, as far as our kin goes, we have like a low level progression group, so we are going through all the Moria instances now. We somewhat recently finished up whatever comes before Moria. Ingmar, that's what it was. So we were doing like the Rift of Nerskashu a few times and all those Ingmar instances like Karn Doom, and now we're getting towards the later part of Moria instances. We've run Scumfill once before. We still haven't gotten to Dark Delvings or the Lothorian instances. We still haven't done Darn Arbogud or the Watcher. We have done the Turtle a couple times though. But I thought Moria could be a little bit relevant with this supposed Brawler class. Let me see, it would be nice if I could get chat working on my YouTube regular like control panel thing that they have for streaming. Cute Gabriella, you wish the Beorning could sing doom metal? Their roaring might work. So it looks like my chat is working again though, so don't need to worry about that. I know last time I actually did this instance, it was a few streams ago on this character, but last time I did it, I was actually very involved with the gameplay. So it kept distracting me, and there are just like, as far as this instance goes, a lot of things to interrupt, a lot of mobs I need to make sure I aggro as a tank. Compared to when I was like playing my Lore Master, even Warden, usually DPSing on my Warden, because we had plenty of tanks, at least typically we did. It was just easier to talk about things and not have to focus as much on the game, but I feel like as a tank, I have to be paying a little bit more attention. But I think kind of where I was going with that is I think I can finally start talking a little bit about the Brawler. So one thing with it is there was one part from the info in Brawler. Hey Callum Hodge, you asked if this was a legacy server. This is one of the legendary servers, not specifically like a legacy server from that, but it was. Oh, got a random quest. Thanks for the quest. That was nice to see in the middle of combat. I thought I did something and messed something up. I mean, so that quest that he shared was actually one that's right where my character was. I just didn't actually run around to pick up any quests. It's a daily one, I think, for this instance you can do. And specifically this server is the Nor server. It's kind of one thing I forgot about is sounded like there are at least plans for a legendary server to be released late 2020. And if they don't have bad timing with that, like I think they historically have had with the legendary servers, we might be seeing that in a month or two. Preferably if it's the not bad timing part, preferably in a couple months. But that will be interesting. I know I play on this legendary server on Anor, and that's like what I mainly jumped to when the first ones were opened. And now I just pretty much play here only because my kin's here. And my favorite thing to do on the server is actually play this character, do the low level progression stuff. Okay, looks like we are good to go. Oops. Wrong force taunt. No, I just used 2 of my force taunts, and I think these guys barrow a little bit. Let's see who are attacking Rockjaw. For some reason, I'm really bad about paying attention to target assist in general in this game, but I at least try to sometimes. Looks like I got a bunch of debuffs. So I was talking a little bit about the Brawler. What was I going on about that? Oh yeah, so the one thing I saw, well I saw 2 of the things in game as I mentioned in the video, and then there were a couple other things like data mined later, but what I saw with the Clash Trait Points quest, that was on my champion, and then I went back on my other characters and couldn't. I don't even remember putting that title on. My keyboard keeps sliding, so I have like a... Well, first of all, my desk is like technically plastic. It's technically a utility table rather, and it's got a plastic surface. But I have like one of those giant mouse pad thingies that are like fit the keyboard, my mic, and my mouse, but my keyboard got knocked off that, so I kept pushing it and sliding it farther away and couldn't reach it. I don't think I want that pocket item. I don't know what UI panel I had on. Was I like trying to log out that whole time? Okay, need to loot the chest. Hi, Cosmic Star. Oh, we're going the right way. For some reason, I thought we went like backwards or something, because this did not look like where the boss was, but there it is. Okay, I think we're ready. Oh yeah, there are these little things. There we go. That was I don't even know what crowd control thing that was on me, but that was 15 seconds, whatever it was, and I couldn't do anything. And it looks like the burglar got one shot during that. Cosmic Star, I have Discord. If you're asking if I have like a server, I don't think I do anymore. I briefly had one, but it was never really used, so at least I'm not sure that I have it. I don't even know how I got rid of it or when I got rid of it, but I never really ended up using it. Usually when I use Discord, I'm either on like my friend's server or in my kin server, or my other kin server now. I used to be on a couple LOTRO specific ones, but honestly don't even know. I might still be a part of them, but never check them, have them on like permanent mute. Okay, I'm doing a bad job of paying attention here. They keep getting ads and I'm like, I'm focused more on myself keeping sure my health is good, and have like this poison debuff I probably need to get rid of. That one isn't too strong, but had my interrupt, but it was too late. It was either already interrupted or it was a very quick induction. Don't need a captain sword. Actually, I have a captain ult. I think a couple other people in the kin in this group specifically might have some now. That's actually a really nice bracelet. For some reason, I think I rolled on this at one point, but lost it to some DPS, which is okay if they need it, but that was like the first piece of gear I got really excited for. Yeah, I missed that quest item last time. So there is the body of the actual boss you can right click and loot, and he gives a quest item. And I mentioned we already ran this, but I think I missed that quest. Okay, so I think we are mainly going to be killing the ads and then leaving this, and then we have to reset and run the other wing. So we did the left wing, and then we'll do the right wing, and after the right wing we can go to the bottom. Oops, I saw those enemies up there doing like their attacking animations, but it's just what they do in this instance. Is the Kurgram fighting the Grodbog. So what do we do when our two enemies are fighting each other? We go and fight them anyway. I guess we let them weaken each other down a little bit. Usually when you pull a group, I think one of them dies, either the Kurgram or the Grodbog there. They're also Cave Claws, I don't know. They're just a third party. I'm pretty sure each side, one side's like Grodbog and the other side's Kurgram. I think we just did the Grodbog wing. So here we have the Kurgram and the Cave Claws. I'm thinking the Cave Claws come either way, but I'm not entirely sure. They might be tied to the Kurgram. And Cosmic Star, you asked if we can group. If you're talking about grouping in LOTRO right now, I'm in a full fellowship. or if you just mean like in general. I usually don't play trying to think, that was a bad way to start that sentence. So usually when I play like with a group, it's usually with my kinship. If you're talking about just like general leveling or questing at some point, could be a possibility like on Arkenstone. So this is on Anor, but on Arkenstone I'm trying to get with my kinship a little bit more on that server, which I'm still fairly new to, but starting to run things with them to get like Louisden more in-game experience on him. So it looks like for deeds in this instance, I still need quite a few defeated Grodbog. That's what I really need. I need almost 200 more still of the Grodbog for their Slayer deed. So Cosmic Star, I'm not sure about the grouping. As I just mentioned, usually when I do group it's with my kin or something, and we'd have to be on the same server. I don't know what server you play on. I play on Anor and Arkenstone, but as far as like today and even this weekend, I won't be playing too much in general. I'm going to be busy with other stuff, unfortunately, and I think tomorrow I might try to do an early afternoon stream on Louisden. I think that would be a good thing to do and be a good break for me around that time. Sunday, I guess I could try. We probably have something going on with the kin that I'll be doing, like West Rohan. I was hearing a weird noise, but I think it was just all the arrows or something, all the enemies that were hit by attacks there. So I think this is the last group, and then we have a couple spiders down the ramp we can get, and then we'll run out and reset and then run this again. So one thing I haven't done, which is okay, it's just, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, that I tend to get distracted by stuff and just talking about a topic during a stream, especially when I'm doing group content with my kin, and then especially on top of that when I'm tanking the instance and have to go about this and find what I'm pulling and actually pay attention to the fights a little bit. That easily happens. But back to the Brawler, the one thing I saw with the trait points that I never actually finished talking about was that it said TBD, which means to be determined, and so sometimes they like change the names of things and things like that. So with the are we getting the boss too? Okay. And then when we come back, will we again? Okay. So I'm going to, I actually probably didn't need to use a cooldown. I saw my morale going down a little bit low. But kind of my point was with the Brawler being TBD was that it is possible, just because of that the actual name of the class is not settled on. So we don't really know any information about this class to begin with. If it even is a class, it could have just been something put in, as I mentioned in the video I talked about it in, that it could have been something put in by mistake and not an actual thing as an upcoming class, but there were a few clues and hints and basically reasons, like actual justifications for why it would be a class. And I was kind of thinking that, at least for me, it seemed easier to justify why it would be a class, an actual upcoming class, rather than just an error. But with the TBD, it is possible that that's not like the final class name. I would guess they had the idea at least, and I don't know if it was something they could be testing it on alpha, because I think I mentioned, probably not in that video actually, the other video I did about the update 28 beta starting rough, which on that topic, just very quickly, the beta did quickly improve after that video. They actually made the systems not fully broken, still some issues I think with the mission system, and I'll probably make a proper video on that at some point, but it's not like completely broken like it was to begin with. But I mentioned there being like, there's alpha Palantir server, which people sign the NDAs, non-disclosure agreements with those, and basically can't share anything with it. Here, I'm probably going to pull some more spiders here. Make sure I forced on them. Oh wow, our group is taking a ton of damage. I did not realize that. I'm going to put a heal on our healer. Hey Yavaskin, and you asked if you can see my trait tree, and I will, in the middle of combat here, try to bring it up quickly. So this is what I have for my class traits. I know that was very short, but if you need to, you can pause that. I'll show it later after this fight and talk about it a little bit more, but can definitely do that. Okay, so I think we'll do the boss fight, and then, oh, I can't even attack him yet. There we go. I was using my AoEs and they were doing nothing. Okay, so I already have him force taunted. I'm going to go to the other side so my friendlies aren't getting hit by any sort of frontal AoEs or anything like that. But before I get on the... Oh, I was too far away. Oops, I got some of them forced on, but not all of them. I guess these are respawn spiders. We did this a little bit weird, because last time we did it, we just ran like straight to the boss and killed the spiders and all that, but this time we were going a bit slower to get the spider deeds, or at least I was. Hopefully I didn't cause too much issue with that because of going slower. Oh, we're getting more respawns. I'm just trying to make sure I'm aggroing everything as I'm spinning these things around. So I do have my big force taunt up. There we go. Oh, got my big force taunt, and wow. I'm like almost perfectly died in the spider web, how that worked out. So once the Runekeeper revives, I can accept his resurrect. But I can look at the trait panel more while we run back. So first off, in the first row, I have increased vitality. The biting edge one is 1 as far as blue Beorning goes. I only got the 5th rank in that because I like the force taunt, otherwise that one's not useful. Bending verse, I only like 1 point of vigilant roar, at least this far down. Let's see, rending blow, armor crush. Those are the pretty standard things. One thing I haven't got down on this character at least is the weakening blow. Typically I want to get that unless you really need that to be like maximum defense. Another option is if you use your sacrifice skill a lot, you could get those traits. The sluggish stings is actually something that at low level and against regular mobs could be useful, but most bosses just totally ignore the increased induction and attack duration, as far as I know at least. Yeah, otherwise it's, I think, pretty standard stuff, but that's just a little bit more. Hi Carrick Avalron, if you're asking, so the Warden, since I last made like some videos on them, most of it still applies, I think, the same. But there have been some minor changes in balances and rebuffs and fixes and things that, depending exactly the exact state of it, when the exact state of the class when I made the video, there could be some slight differences because of that, but the general idea is the Warden still plays mostly the same. They're just like a couple gambits that might be stronger than they used to be, or a couple gambits weaker than they used to be, and basically lower priority in combat. I tried to use my AoE roar. Try to get the healer up. We keep having that hunter standing pretty far back, and we keep getting the spiders behind us. So with the Warden, I am planning on making updated guides though pretty soon. This specifically, I like to work on guides on the weekend. And I was actually planning on having a Warden guide like either this past week or the upcoming week that might help a little bit. I don't really know, that one's going to be a weird video. It's like the 7 tips for Runekeeper I had video, but for Warden instead. Okay, quickly resurrect him before. Okay, so I think we're ready for the boss again. Maybe. So last time we got a couple extra groups. So I'm going to pull them way up here. I know there are a couple of groups back here, but we don't have any of the big guards, at least right back here, in case we do pull them. And hopefully those guys can handle the little spiders. I think their just signature should be fine. I don't want to run out and like mess up the fight just by moving the boss. And potential like any knockbacks getting knocked back to other mobs, the other mob groups here. But yeah, with the Warden, you said it's a class you've never played. It's on your LOTRO bucket list to play one. Yeah, they can be tough to get started with, but I think they're a fun class once you get the gambit system down a little bit. I even thought mine was fun before I knew basically how to play one. It basically meant that I was a bad Warden and I still thought it was fun. Okay, yeah, this is going a lot smoother when we don't have all those ads going on us. And also forgot to reply to this part, so you said your content is about the best out there, and thank you. I tried to make good content, useful content. Alright, so we get to loot our chest, but I think I'm done. I still need 64 or 65 more spiders, I think. 64. Yeah, for Moria in general. What? Oh yeah, I'm in Bree because I was like, why am I in Bree? But I went to get my subscriber town services and that stuff. But I want to start slowly progressing at least to start slowly going towards Mirkwood. I don't know if this character, if I'll do like a full stream questing series in Mirkwood. It is possible, like separate from the level progression group. I don't know, but go ahead and turn this quest in. But that's just something I guess I have to think about. I don't know if any viewers here want to comment on that, if they're interested in that sort of thing, me going like on this character through Mirkwood without the distraction of instances as like its own thing, just questing through basically all of Mirkwood. I'll be doing a lot of it under leveled. That's why I think it will be interesting doing the Moria instances. And it looks like we have our new Scumfill, but doing the Moria quests, like I'll be level capped at 60. I have the Stone of the Tortoise to lock my level cap at 60 for this group. Even though we do have a couple people above 60, but in general we want to be at 60 cap. One Grodbog warrior got away. But I think my point was that Mirkwood would be interesting to go through under-leveled, and I'll of course get all the nice quest rewards from a higher level area, but I'll still be like going through the Moria instances capped at 60 as far as this progression group goes for that. I know one thing I used to do more with my channel was like full zone playthroughs with my streams, but I don't know, I feel like with my streams lately I've been focused on Louisden for one, getting him up, and every Wednesday and Friday and Sunday we usually have kin events that I'll often stream those just because I have fun doing them, and at least with when we do epic battles I can combine that with West Rohan questing on my Runekeeper, but then that's like half the week is doing stuff on this server, and once a week we do this low level group, which I have a lot of fun with, but I feel like it doesn't leave me much time to focus on something else, especially now like update 28. I'll do that beta probably when the next build is up again to check out those things and see what they have new, if anything, assuming there's even another beta build. For all I know, they could be ready to release the full update next week. It's one thing I talked about in that video, but I have actually seen it pop up elsewhere, is that Standing Stone Games, I don't even know necessarily the community manager. I know a lot of people criticize him, Cordovan specifically. I don't have anything against him, but like from the developers' point of view rather, we don't really hear anything from what they expect, like out of the mission system. Again, from the developers, from Standing Stone Games' point of view, I don't really hear anything from what they expect missions to be. We just know missions are a new system and what they have. Yeah, I see yours. Wait, so So I thought we have 2 dwarf runekeepers, and I thought one was healing and the other was DPSing. Well, I thought they were actually switched, who was healing and who was DPSing, because I thought the healer was one that hasn't healed, or has healed like half an instance run of ours. So I thought they were doing pretty good, but it looks like the usual healer's healing. There's the Our Fates Entwined runestone. They just keep summoning more Grodbogs, I guess. I thought we were actually done with the fight, but then this Grodbog Hive Defender was Barrowing, which is... It's a little bit less annoying in group content, but just that whole mechanic, especially if you're questing, it slows things down a lot. One nice thing is if you have bleeds or any sort of dot on the enemy, they can still tick. I don't remember them doing that. They're asking if these Mez... yeah, Mez... they were wondering if these mobs, these bosses, Mez us, and I don't think they do. But this one has a lot of bosses, and they run around a lot and they burrow, and this is a messy fight, so we'll see how it goes. I think we got it the first time, but we like had to die and run back somehow. People are able to survive enough to chain that. So we're going to get the one on the left first, but as far as tanking, I need to get aggro on all of them. Definitely, and there's the one in the back that should be coming in. Ooh. My morale went way down there. I shall get my defenses slightly up, and then I'll use my big force taunt if I don't have aggro already. Alright, so we're getting Nestado in here. So Karak, you're asking my opinion on the state of play on the Anor server. So that's the server I am on this character, even though I'm doing Moria content on him. So this server is going into probably what I consider my least favorite part for this server to be going into, kind of West Rohan. East Rohan, or the level 85 cap. East Rohan I still didn't enjoy too much, but the level 85 cap specifically wasn't too bad because a lot of the end game, as far as what you did, was actually just scalable instances. Of course, you could do those now. Do we have an XP weekend? Oh, we have plus 10% virtue XP. Oh, we probably want to get the deeds here then, on these characters while here. Hey Casey, you said you used to play this game back in 2013. That was quite a while ago, 7 years ago. And you grinded enough points, they were turbine points back then, to get Rohan expansion without paying. That was probably quite the task. I know you had to do a lot of grinding to get LOTRO points. You still have to do a lot of grinding. But yeah, I think that's quite the feat. But as far as Anor, it is somewhat active. So there are 144 non-Anon players on right now, and that's maybe 20% of the other servers, maybe 15% would be more accurate. The other most popular servers, it might even be closer more to 20 to 25% population of the less popular regular servers than maybe 10 to 15% of the more popular servers. So like Arkenstone is the other server I play on, which is one of the most popular of the regular servers, and all the regular servers really, I think, as far as the most popular ones. So you have Brandywine, Arkenstone, and there's one more that's usually pretty popular. Evernight, I think, is the European server, if I remember correctly, but yeah, they're barrowing in. That's why I keep getting invalid target. Oh, there are all these grog bugs. I'm in a bad tank right now. But now I got my force taunt, and anybody who runs near me, hopefully from that force taunt, will be taunted again. But I see that one Grogbog worker in the backpack where my mouse is, and anyway, that fight worked out. So Karak, you're on Arkenstone normal. That's what I'm, or used to normally be on. I'm kind of mixed now between Arkenstone and Honor. But you're looking to do older content and you can't find it on Arkenstone really. I'm not sure if this server will be much better for that. You can find low level groups still. Like if I search for a Great Barrow, usually Great Barrow is the easiest. It's like level 20 to 30 or so. Sometimes you can find a Fornos around that level range even. But as far as like mid-level groups go, that is a little bit more scarce. So I am fortunate in my Kinship we're doing. In my Kinship, we have a low-level progression group that we're slowly going through the content. We did Ingmar, so we did Ingmar, and now we're up to Moria. So for this character, doing like this level stuff and doing some of the older content, that's the only reason why. As far as like pickup group pugging, that sort of stuff, without a Kinship, it'd probably be a bit harder. I do see people occasionally searching for like Grand Stair or something like that, but that's not super frequent. Usually Grand Stair is like the most common Moria instance to be run. And I kind of forget this boss's mechanics. I know he has some ads coming out and like tosses people and a bunch of things. Usually we have people die. I think he does knockbacks or close range attacks that do a lot of damage to our more squishy members in our group. But Casey, you said it took about a year of grinding, so that is a crazy time. One thing I will say with grinding LOTRO points that will keep you busy and keep you engaged in the game at least. It might get a little bit repetitive if you just like keep making alts to do the same low level deeds that a lot of people do. Oh, they lost their healer. And you can run back, I think, right? I thought we found that out last time. Okay, so I just need to basically survive. I think there's some ads going on. I used my AoE force on, but then all the ads were dead. So I'm actually mostly fine on damage. It looks like this character is... He can be squishy, but overall pretty defensive. Of course he's a tank, so ideally I would be defensive, but with Beornings they have a lot of heals and Evercupri and Bear form and Hearten, which does a lot in man form. More defenses. I'm going to... Actually, if I have my next... I keep wanting to call it Mending Verse because it has basically the same icon as Mending Verse from the Runekeeper. But my next Hearten I might try to do on the regular. Especially with my morale fine. But Casey, you said it took you about a year of grinding and your parents wouldn't let you spend money, so you had no choice. And that's also why you played LOTRO instead of WoW, because yeah, LOTRO is free. With a bunch of grinding you can even get the new content. And WoW had a subscription. So one thing odd with WoW is, for a while there I played it. This was back before my channel like really started taking off with LOTRO. I was making LOTRO videos and things. But I had a lot more variety with my channel when it was fairly new, or fairly unpopular, not popular, much less popular. I wonder when I even got 1,000 subscribers. If that was, could have been a... I feel like that would have had to be been like a real long time ago, but also a real long time ago I felt like my videos weren't that great. But anyway, that's totally distracted from what my point is. But with WoW, it was nice when they introduced the WoW token because you could just farm gold to pay for your subscription, and that's one thing I did for a while because I enjoyed making gold in that game. So I was able to play WoW for actually more free than LOTRO, which was odd. Gear here, don't need a shield, don't need a minstrel songbook. Apparently I'm not facing the target, and that's already, keeps already being in use. Okay, so we're going to, I think, try to get some more Slayer deeds done. Do we want to get any more spiders? Or am I the only one that needs that? Moria. But I just wouldn't mind getting them done while we have the Virtue XP buff. What? Oh. Oh yeah. I only need like 35 more. I don't know if you all need a bunch or if you all have already finished though. So we don't have a healer. The only person with me is the burglar, so it's a kind of scary pull, but thought I'd go ahead and do it. So we're trying to decide what we're doing. As you all probably heard, I need the spider slayer deed, and it'd be really quick. It's just killing 35 spiders or whatever. It's actually like 36. I don't think it was 60 something. Maybe it was. It actually is possible that I needed like 64. I don't know why that number is coming to mind, why I changed it to 36, 35 or whatever. I'm guessing I had like 136, so then 64 more. That's where I'm getting those numbers. I feel like half our group's missing. I don't know where everybody is going. Sounds like a couple people just left the instance thinking we were done. As I mentioned, we don't have our healer, so our burglar died. I'm surviving this somehow fine. I actually thought this would be. But you all probably noticed this fight's taking a while. We have like half our DPS. We don't have two of the hunters, which hunters, at least now I know they're a lot stronger than they used to be, so I assume at low level that's the same with the recent buffs. But Carrick, if you're still here, I just thinking a little bit more. I think I pretty much finished talking about the whole Anor and Arkenstone thing. So on Arkenstone, I haven't actually searched for low-level content in a long time, but since I play on that server on a little bit, I haven't specifically seen a lot of group search for older content, so I can definitely see you having a bit of trouble. Oops. So somebody came back, but I guess they aggroed some mobs along the way, so now I get even more of those. This one has a ton of corruptions, 3 of them, and I just removed 3. Oh, so Nature's Vengeance removes 1 tier of up to 3 corruptions. I thought it removed 1 tier of 1 corruption. At the baseline, I'm going to use a potion. I'm going to use a potion, and I'm going to use that cooldown. Alright, so got things under a little bit more control. So this Grodbog is burrowed and doing an induction, so couldn't interrupt him. That was kind of annoying. One thing I realized is I barely talked about the Brawler. Basically all I've said in summary is that there's a small possibility that assuming that is an actual upcoming class, that it may not eventually be named the Brawler. Was basically all I have said about the Brawler, and I know I'm completely randomly going back to it in the middle of this chaotic fight we have, but it's a fun fight. Ooh, I was kind of hoping I'd actually get knocked back into that just so we could have some spiders join in. Well, we even got another group. I thought things were finally settled, but then I think somebody got knocked back into this one. But as far as my personal preferences for classes, the idea of a Brawler doesn't sound too fun for me to personally play. Now, any class that's new to LOTRO, whether it's the Brawler or not, I think I would definitely have fun testing it out. I mean, I play a character of every class anyway, just because I like the variety and playing different things and testing all of them out and seeing what they do, actually playing them and getting a feel for what they do. But so I think I just turned all these mobs around as I was getting control of them with the AoE force taunts there around to face the burglar. But yeah, with the Brawler, just the idea of something like that, based on what I think of a Brawler, again, we don't know any actual information on the class. It is not the most appealing type to me, and I also think it is odd. So Brawler, of course, to me, I envision a melee class. First off, like disregarding any sort of weaponry or whatever fighting style they use, I just picture it as a melee class that has DPS and possibly tank, like kind of like we have Champion and Guardian is more tank focused, but it's also melee. Even Burglar is melee. Captain is melee as well, but it's support. I would not picture a Brawler to be a support, but as far as classes that are missing in LOTRO, a melee class is not one. We even have Beorning here, which they're a little bit weird, but they're melee. So as far as classes like missing from LOTRO, I do not think that is another melee class. I think there are some ideas for other classes that could fit. Yeah, that fight was long, but we got done with it. I feel like we might as well pull both of these at once. If we could handle that last fight, we could handle two groups at once. Oh, I'm actually done with the Kurgram quest. About 60 of them in this instance for the advanced. That means there's 90 Kurgram we gotta get. They were talking about the deed for Kurgram Slayer, and you have to, so you do get some Kurgrams on the bosses, but it's pretty much based on luck or an RNG if you actually get the Kurgrams on these fights, because as I mentioned, it's either the Kurgrams or the Grodbogs that you get to fight. So it's just based on the luck of the roll, whichever one the game chooses you to fight. I think my cat just made a weird noise, but I can't tell actually. Yeah. Yeah, my cats like to make weird noises when they want attention or something. Or even when they're just like stretching, but anyway, that's what I heard. I don't know if you all hear it. There is a cave claw that got loosed on the healer. Do we have two healers? Are both Runekeepers healing now? Oh. I feel like there's still somebody missing from this instance. Yeah, I noticed it was going. It seemed like a bit slow, but I didn't realize Abax? I don't know how you say that name. He's not here. Okay. So it sounds like. So we're getting the spiders again. Yeah, I'll be here the whole time, so anybody can feel free to take their full break. So I'm going to be killing spiders. People can take their break, be in the instance, and they'll get progress on their spider slayer deed. This character, just because he hasn't done too many landscape quests in Moria besides the intro ones, he doesn't have any deed progress, or at least not too much. Probably mainly cave claws. I did about half or maybe a little bit more of Silvertine loads and a little bit of the first zone. I think actually most of the first zone. Dark Delvings, is that what it's called? But I did that. Oh, I didn't, for some reason I didn't see my progress bar. I didn't think I was actually breaking those webs. I don't know who is here, so I do need to be a little bit careful. So we do have a healer. That is the good news. But yeah, killing the spiders. With the spiders, as you all probably saw if anybody was here during our first run of this, they just like respawn throughout this, so it's super quick to get them. I know if I'm just here solo tanking, it would be a little bit slow just because the damage I output wouldn't be great, but I could at least round a bunch up and make use of all my AoEs. Might be a little bit harder solo just because I'd have to worry about my own health a little bit more, but with the group I can pull a few in. We'll get them and do this a few times and everybody should get their spider slayer done. And you also get Glob's Naga Slayer, and the benefit of that, doing that right now specifically, is there's a 10% virtue XP. 10% virtue XP buff, so we get that in this character's virtues. I'm actually all the way up on fidelity. Probably should set tolerance as my earning to get my other tactical mitigation one up. People always ask about like virtue guides whenever I do any sort of class guide or spec guide. I always get asked about virtue guides, and actually, so I've recorded a few guides last weekend. I think I really got that stuff organized and did all my guide stuff, but then the update 28 beta hit early in the week, so that was like Tuesday that it started, and then I had a few videos that I wanted to do specifically with the update 28 beta, so basically all those class guides got deleted. All my time spent editing focused on the new stuff, and all my time spent recording focused on the new stuff. So basically I have a couple, not really old guides, but guides that I recorded like in the past 2 weeks that just need to be edited. And I talk about all this stuff in them. I think we could handle this, as long as enough people are here. Actually, I don't know, as like people might be taking their AFK breaks. This would be a bad time for everybody to be taking their AFK break, but at least we have our healer, and I can utilize again my AoEs to eventually kill some of them. Actually, I guess these signatures, they really don't have much morale. They do go down pretty quickly. But yeah, I got Glob's Naga Slayer advanced done, so I got the 2000 virtue XP first of all, but I also got 200 bonus virtue XP. So if I complete like 10 deeds during this weekend on this character, I don't know if I will complete 10 deeds, but there are a ton of Moria deeds and a ton of Moria Slayer deeds that are in these instances. There are the Slayer deeds for the instances and then Slayer deeds for Moria in general, and the mobs count for both. So that's just a really nice thing. And I also have from the Hobbit gifts, it looks like a couple virtue XP things. I can go ahead and use them. Those I kind of like to save for a 20% virtue weekend, but I'll go ahead and use them. Help keep my stuff clean. I have like one character that probably has 20 of those. I think almost 2 rows worth of inventory slots here saved up, full of those virtue XP tome things from the Hobbit daily, like the silver present and gold weekly one. And I need to turn a light on at one point. Actually, I have a lamp behind me. I forget about that. It's kind of annoying. There we go. But I don't like lights in front of me, because then I just feel like I'm staring at the light and getting blinded by it. But I also like background light, so having one behind me would be good. Except my desk, I basically have like a foot behind the back of my chair and the wall, and that's when I'm actually like have the chair pushed up, so there's not much room for anything behind me, especially like a lamp that has to go up. But I have an okay position for the lamp. It's just a little bit awkwardly positioned if you actually look at it, but anyway, that's my lighting situation if anybody cared to know. Okay, I just need 27 more spiders, so if everybody was here, I'd vote to try to get them all in one pool, but not sure that is what will happen. Oh, and it looks like a couple of them decided to come over here. I don't know if they're some of the ones I pulled or just a couple more respawn. We're also getting XP this whole time. I know the mob kill XP. Oops. I don't know if I didn't have aggro on all of them and that's how the hunter died, or if there were some splashes, poisons, things like that. Oh, I'm out of wrath. That does not happen much. Usually I'm building enough wrath that I don't run out of it even in bear form for a while, but that's why my maul didn't last a while, and we have a ton of spiders on us. I mentioned if everybody was here, I'd actually be willing to try to pull all like 30 or whatever. It was 20 something, I think. But it looks like we'll actually be close. We killed a lot of the signatures now, but we keep getting more of these elite masters. I don't know if they're just respawning or if more are being pulled somehow, but it's okay. These ones just take a little bit to kill, a little bit extra, because they're elite masters and have a lot more morale. But I think one more pull, one more even little sized pull, would get them all. I only need 4 more after, or 3 more after these 4. So I'll go ahead and pull. There's a little group respawning right there. There's a couple back there I'll go ahead and get. So I will actually be done after this group. I don't know the people. I guess I'll have to ask them if anybody else needs them. But there, got my Spider Slayer advance done, so now, as far as when I paid attention, I think I might even have completed another deed earlier. I'm gonna try to reset these a little bit. That way we stop pulling them. I know we're supposed to be doing this during the AFK break, but I was gonna ask everybody their progress, and we're probably getting close to done with the AFK. I actually don't know, it's hard to tell how long things last when you're just like sitting here killing spiders, at least for me. Looks like, yeah, we started the spiders. If I can look back at the stream, sometimes it's hard to tell, maybe, okay, maybe just like 7 minutes ago. I got mine done. I was going to ask if anybody else needed them, or... Could check if somebody sent a fellowship chat. Doesn't look like it. Sounds like everybody's done. Globs. If I can spell. Alright, so this character's just looking a little bit. I need 9 more tolerance and 3 more honor. I got finished with my Spider Slayer. I didn't know if anybody else needed any. Or Globs Naga as well. Whoa. Whoa. Sounds like people are pretty much finished. Okay, these. Were we running 16th Hull or the Dark, whatever that's called, instance? Dark Delvings, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Did you run that on your minstrel then? Okay. I meant the first time we ran it because I don't think I've killed Globsnog outside of instances. Quest-wise, I have not. I haven't quested since Silver Teen Loads. Yep. It's got to me, I'm very close to level 60 now. So it sounds like we're done with this one, is kind of the point. I know we're going slow doing nothing, it's just sitting there. But I think we are getting towards... Okay, so... so for these, unless it's actually tree cut, so tree cut's actually 1 vicious claws. And I don't know, I'd rather healing potency than 1 little bit of damage boost to sure the skill does. So tempered tree cutter, oh, I don't have tempered tree cutter equipped anymore. What do I have? I don't even have a name. So I went from like tree cutter to tempered tree cutter, and I don't know what the next upgrade after like tempered steel is basically what that was based off of. So this will become tree slicer. I was just gonna say dark delvings because we haven't done it, but I'm fine with either. there's Glor has some alts, right? I don't know if he'd want to join, but I'm trying to think of, we might run Dark Delvings, it sounds like. Oh, some of this is level 59, some 60. Sounds like we are doing Dark Delving. So one thing I did not do, ever since fixing OBS, was actually put Streamlabs up. Not that it pops up too often, I usually miss it anyway, but if anybody like subscribes during the streams, that will actually show. But it doesn't look like I've missed anything. That's just something I totally randomly thought of. So in Dark Delvings I have killed 3 nameless. Yeah, I've killed 3 nameless, and I think that was when we were getting all the quests in here. Oh man, these runestones require me to be in human form. It's so sad with the bear form that you always have to switch out of it to gather stuff. Which it makes sense, but then there's some like really random things you can actually do in bear form. And I did not know that. Did those two just not join the fight, or are they being weird? There they are. That's super weird, they just turn away when we're back here. So those two mobs back there, when we're here, they'll turn around and hit us, but then back here, they just like turn around and don't do it, but it's okay. So I had no idea in this instance. I have run it quite a few times, but I had no idea you had to actually like bring them back into the light. I don't know how I ran it so many times without knowing that. I don't know if they become weaker. It seems like they might have some buffs that go away in here. We might even get buffs, so we have Bane of whatever, I don't know, that actually went away. I didn't know if that was from being in the light. I keep seeing that debuff, but it's just, oop, and give them a sacrifice. Anytime anybody looks like they're taking damage, I try to use that, but I feel like I don't really utilize it too much. Oops, do we still have enemies back there? Oh no, the healer runekeeper is just facing away, that's why it distracted me, and I saw the lightning going off as well, and it's a lightning runestone though. I also feel slow. I guess there was a debuff I had that slowed me. So what is this? Minus run speed plus attack duration plus... Oh, that's when I'm out of the light, so I do get a debuff out of the light. This boss, I think a lot goes on with it, but I'm not sure. Do you all want me at the same one as you? It's really weird that I'm like letting the boss face the people in my group, but I guess that's the way it goes with this boss fight. It was a really bad sequence of skills I used. I used the corruption removal, which has no animation, and I used basically Vicious Claws as an animation cancel. Let me see how much damage this wound does. Okay, it does quite a bit, but not enough for me to have to worry about using a potion on it. And I don't know why I'm like so hesitant to use potions in this game. That's what they're there for, the wound, poison, disease, and fear removal potions. You buy them from a vendor for really cheap, and that's what they're there for, but for some reason I'm like so hesitant to use them. So I think there's some quest items I can get here. Shattered runestones. There's a chest back there. Oh, I was thinking I kind of missed those. So our group leader used to set up these fancy fellowship maneuvers, which at first I thought it was odd because by the time I played LOTRO at endgame, we did them a little bit with Rise of Isengard and doing that stuff, but most of my playtime in LOTRO, they were kind of useless, to be honest. But it seems like I'm actually missing them now. This is actually a decent piece of gear. I'm gonna roll out on it and look at it a bit more. Actually, I probably shouldn't have, because the Burglar Hunter probably could have used it more. I thought I had might on it. Oh, it's minimum level 62. I didn't even notice that. How are you supposed to wear that in Moria? I must have not seen those little crawly things, darklings, because I just saw the two nameless. Alright, Carrick, you said, take care, Louie, and glad you're back on YouTube. Thank you for joining the stream. And I am glad to be back as well, definitely. You all might have just heard me yawn, but that's just not because I'm like bored or tired of doing this. I'm just like, it's generally getting closer to my bedtime. I've had a funky sleep schedule lately. For a while there, for like two weeks, it was like completely normal and all good, but it's been a bit messed up lately and probably won't improve much. Oops. I forgot to bring them back to the light. It's so weird. I've run this quite a few times and never knew you had to take these mobs to the light. But yeah, just with my sleep schedule, if anybody has followed me for a while, you probably know that I am more of a early done with my streams person. I don't like stream late into the evening. And my kin also doesn't run. At first with the Nort, sometimes we were doing like Rift or Hellegrudden and go a while. Actually was looking recently in some of my old streams, we probably went close to midnight, like local time, server time. So those were pretty long, but in general I am done early, but just with my sleep schedule, at least for me, like sleeping until 7 a.m. is like what I would consider sleeping in for me. There are a bunch of quest items in this room. Alright, so we'll take him to the light. So the Doom Speaker is the boss and the World Eater is the ad. The World Eater is bigger, but he's the one we need to take care of first. And I'm trying to target the Doom Speaker to interrupt him. There we go. And I'm trying also to keep the enemy backs here. I can actually turn here a little bit and help with that maybe. But trying to keep the enemies facing me. What just happened? For some reason I went like totally out of LOTRO window. You'll probably saw it drop down to really low FPS randomly. I'm trying to in a really bad position here. I'm gonna try to move him here. Oh wait. Yeah. Usually they're locked. Oh, I might have hit them with a bleed. So I think the burglar tried to crowd control one of the enemies here. Well, I'm having a lot of issues with Wrath, like way more than I normally have. Getting my point with that, so I'll build it up real quick. Oops. Tried to hit it in time, but I couldn't find it. Okay, I think I don't know if I lost aggro there. I saw him turning one of the enemies. So I am alone here. Oh. Snarling Overseer, another ad summoned, and that I took a ton of damage there. Yep. Yeah, that was one thing. Or, you can go on. Oh, I was just gonna say that was one thing I noticed. I was like using my interrupt, and by the time it went off, he was already interrupt or something, but then mine was on cooldown. Actually, I was about to destroy this Captain's Greatsword, but actually I want to save that for my... Don't remember. I just noticed my inventory is a little bit messy, so I thought while we were setting this up I'd try to clean it up a little bit. I should have my subscriber town services somewhere. It's always hiding in my inventory. This is still the most OP item in the game, I think. I guess I'll save this piece of armor. It is weird. Even one of the hunters or the burglar could find it useful. Just because of the physical mastery, crit rating, and vitality. Of course, I'd prefer heavy armor in this character as a tank. But it has much better DPS stats than mine, but the problem is it's level 62 and we're kind of capped at 60 even though one of our hunters is above that. Anyway, we are starting up this fight, so I'll get my Beorning's honey cake eaten. Yeah, these little ones, they do a lot of damage. Oh, I don't think my first stomp hit him, but I think he's still aggro to me. Just trying to drag that head. Interrupt on cooldown. Doesn't look like it did anything. Oh. So I thought he got his induction off, and I was like, oh, that did basically nothing. And oops, I did it again. Oh. So, that was kind of weird. You all probably saw us running back and forth and the group split up. So I was going one way and the burglar means our group leader was going the other way, but I should probably stop using my interrupts as much and focus on actually using them as interrupts for when he does that. I think last time they were on cooldown because they're actually good rotational skills. But they also have the added benefit of being an interrupt, but then if you need to use them as an interrupt, you want to save them for the interrupt, and that's just something I actually need to do. So I don't have any light to run to this time. I'm going to be probably taking a lot of damage. I'm actually going to, I just used one of my interrupts there, but it gives a damage debuff. Oops, I interrupted the used my interrupt, but I think it was another one that was. Okay, I need to gain some wrath. This is really random to talk about again an hour and a half into the stream, but I really haven't talked much about the Brawler, and I was intending to talk a bit more about it. Trying to think what I even have talked about, the possibilities with the class, and I said it wouldn't be like my favorite style, assuming that whatever class it is ends up being a Brawler. don't know if there's much more to talk about other than just repeating what I said in the video, but it's pretty exciting in general having a new class to LOTRO, but as other people commented on that video, it is concerning just with balance. And one thing with the Beorning is it really was kind of basically felt like an incomplete class. Oh, we got so close on that pause. But the Beorning, when it was released, felt like an incomplete class. And this is actually one thing I specifically wanted to talk about that I forgot about with this stream. Oh, oops. So yeah, the Beorning, when it was released, a lot of people at least thought it was incomplete. I actually thought it was fun when it was released, but there were some things that felt incomplete. And I feel like the DPS spec is still incomplete, like it's not actually fully worked out what they want it to be. There's just a lot of like useless or pointless things to it. Almost similar to some other things with Wardens, but Wardens have enough stuff going on and going for them that I don't really consider it an issue, particularly with like the whole spear sweep. That whole trait line is basically useless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do much, rather. It does stuff. Just not anything useful is what I meant. But, oh, I think if you run into those, you get the glowworms. These are probably, need these for like a deed or something. Feel it actually, there we go. Yeah, defeat glowworms and the dark delvings. 2 deeds for that. 1 for dark delving, 1 for dark delvings, but I'll take 2 deeds. Might as well go ahead and get more while we're waiting. I think that's something we were going to run back for, and they're a little bit slow to kill, it seems like. This is like a situation where I'd rather be in the DPS spec. I actually don't have a DPS spec set up on this character. As I said, the gameplay feels incomplete to me. I made a whole video on it before my break. I guess that was like a year and a half ago. It was called the Red Line Beorning Problem, and kind of essentially was that the gameplay felt incomplete because of the way you build and consume Wrath in the Red Line, and how you're actually strongly encouraged to be in man form for a longer duration than you're encouraged to be in bear form in combat if you want to maximize your damage. Especially, I don't know right now how the scaling is with 130, because that video was back at the 120 cap, and that's especially true if you like dual wield or don't weapon swap. Hopefully we will get, seems like the ads can be a variety. Hopefully we won't get those really bad ones to start. I'll be better about force taunting them all right away. And this instance is pretty tough. We do have 5 people, but it's a generally tough instance anyway with the balance, some of the updates. So, sounds like we're ready to try again, but kind of reminds me, last night I was playing, kind of forgot about this. There's some Darklings. I don't think we've had the Darkling ads yet, have we? But I was doing some old content. And it was a bit challenging, and it just like made it entertaining actually, having challenge like that. So one thing I actually say in my videos a lot is that I think content at the baseline level should be easy, and it's something that I think is true, even though I like challenging content. Like on this fight in particular, we're going down and like dying, so I think that's fun, and it keeps us like trying to complete it, and that's like one of the whole points of a raid. But I think at the baseline, at like tier 1, having stuff be easy just for people to be able to complete it, it's kind of like LFR and WoW. I know that gets criticized a lot, but it's there for a reason, and a lot of people use it. Something not like LFR and LOTRO, but something as easy as that for like tier 1, I think would be a good thing, just because that means more people get to do it. There are people I have played with and play with that actually have this issue, but one thing in LOTRO is it feels like a lot of content is inaccessible because the barrier to entry is pretty high, so you have to do like a lot of stuff to farm your character up, get them geared up or whatever. Wow, it seems like we've gotten pretty lucky with these ads this fight. We just have these little darklings that have such low morale, they just like go down with AoEs and don't really do much, it seems like. Wow, he did get a full heal. I was just thinking we were lucky with the ads, but maybe the darklings heal him up or something, I don't know. But that's okay. He goes down pretty quick if we can just like stay here. I'm actually in bad position, but it's kind of a problem when we have our 4 dwarves. It's kind of funny, I'm running with 4 dwarves and I'm like taller than any of them, even in bear form. Not even standing up, but just standing on my 4 paws rather. But when they're positioned like that, it's hard to position the boss where they're all behind him. Was kind of my point of that. It was just kind of interesting how they were standing there, but I don't think it's too much of a problem with this boss. Better go to man form. My headphones audio keeps getting messed up. Okay, so we gotta focus on the boss and focus on corruption removal, so I'll save my cooldown. I know I use that rotationally. But I'll try to keep my morale up when I can. I'm gonna go ahead and use my cooldown. He's so low I don't feel like there'd be any issues, but it's the time to be extra safe. But with my headphones, so they have a slider with auxiliary cord that came with my headphones. The headphones themselves are a few years old. It's kind of funny how I got them. But I'll talk about that if I remember after this. So the auxiliary wire that came with them, it has a slider to increase the volume and decrease it, which I really like the slider, but the problem is I have to like position the slider and hit it in some weird way to actually get the audio to play through both speakers properly. But the headphones, I don't even remember how many years old they are. Probably like 5, 6, 4, something like that. It's not the prettiest shield. It actually looks a lot like a Moria shield, so thematic to that. But the headphones, I don't remember how, but I did something and got a GameStop gift card, which is like, it's just a GameStop gift card, but I was able to use it to buy these headphones. They've lasted me that long. They're the Astro A10s, I think. I don't know, probably. So normally I want to buy something like that. Oh, I have 9. There's a dim runestone, so I'm missing. Yeah, I'm the same. So we still have one more boss, I think. Is it to the north? South? Okay, I was headed the right way. While we're waiting for people, I shall get us some more worms. Might take too long to try to get this Orm Advanced Slayer done today. Oh. Well, I would be fine with that if you all want to do that. Take advantage of the Virtue XP. This character probably has my best virtues just from doing all these instances. So, for people in the stream, I was talking to Mike in there in the Discord. I don't know how easy it is for people to tell, but that's how I do it. No. Well, that route lasted a while, but most of my characters, I'm not really much of a person that likes to farm Virtue XP. Sometimes it can be okay with certain things. Some of the Slayer deeds aren't bad, just doing those for a little bit. Running the old instances I think is fun if missions had Slayer deeds that they would count towards. Oop, light. Apparently there was a runestone right here. I don't know if it just wasn't lit or something. It looked dark the whole fight, but I wasn't paying too much attention. I just realized it was dark and I was fighting these enemies, but then this runestone came on. Probably a nice instance to run as a runekeeper. You have all these runestones. It's just kind of thematic towards that. One kind of odd thing with Moria, I wasn't around for the release of Moria, but they have the Warden class. And the Runekeeper, the class, the Runekeeper is obviously thematic. There's this instance in Moria that has a bunch of runestones, but like dwarves and elves can be Runekeepers, but dwarves, we have 2 dwarf Runekeepers in this, so it kind of had that theme going on with it. But Wardens are like completely unrelated and even so we're going over the fight. Feels like we just do this the whole time. And the ranged people will take down the ranged ads. Sounds like a simple fight for me as a tank if I can just stay back here and own the boss. And it sounds like we are gonna do the challenge, which is more exciting. He's just sitting there. I can't even tell how many eyes or how many mouths he has. Maybe just one mouth. That's a little bit hard to tell here, but he looks pretty ugly is the point. Oh, but I want to read his buffs here, or debuffs. He's surrounded by light, reduced to simple attacks. That'll be nice. And I also just realized my XP after turning all these quests, I should be level 60. And then, oh, he also suffers from primal darkness. That's interesting. Oh, he suffers from primal darkness, but it's a buff for him instead of a debuff. So it emboldens the evil creatures. It helps them become more efficient and deadly. So he gets to attack faster and gets increased run speed. So I guess I have to run up and start it, then I can turn my back. So I'll actually just backpedal. Oh, never mind, I'll actually turn around so I can taunt the ad. So this is a bit of an odd angle to have the camera, but I think, I don't know, it's almost like playing a first person, which in an MMO isn't really something I usually do. You don't get a good overview of what's going on, I don't think. It's a pretty, oops, I think I just moved. Oops, the burglar died from something. Okay, so I'll turn my camera this way. It's just a little bit weird because if you have your camera here, you're stuck in first person. So he had a ground effect and we were supposed to stay there that whole time, I think. Actually, Chris, oh. Yeah, I don't know. That ground effect though, do we need to get out of it? So I think when that happens, I don't know what happens if you're not in the light, but something happens. So stood there. There's like the warning message that Gervian screams mightily, the echo shaking the walls, and the shadows seem to creep in even closer. And then a couple seconds later, it looks like is when a vile gust of wind seeps through the passage, shaking the very walls of the cave. Only the glowing rocks seem unaffected. So with the second one, you just have to stand on the light. And again, I've run this instance so many times and don't remember any of the actual standing in the light type stuff. So that's just like really weird to me now that this time I'm running it, it's like, oh, it's actually a thing. And I've done this in like pugs and had no issues with the lights or anything. I don't know, maybe because I haven't tanked it or something. That's a small possibility. While we're waiting for people, I figure I can go ahead and get these glowworms. A few of them. I didn't see them, but yeah, I can look at that. Yeah, leveled up. So, as I mentioned, I have the Stone of the Tortoise to stay at level 60, but I'm going to try to get way over here. I want to be as close to 1 XP away from leveling as possible, so that when we move up to Mirkwood, I'm like ready. It doesn't really matter that much because I'll just get level capped anyway from the Mirkwood instances, but I think it'd be more fun to do it that way. Oh, I didn't see the message came up. I don't know why I got a new deed now that I'm level 60 for the librarian school at the Moria. Oh, my head's getting itchy. I guess the boss is stuck where he defeated us. I wonder if you only have 4 tries and then it's like no lights at all for you to stand at for a bit. So this time our strategy is just see what happens, which is okay. Oh, I got Blaze of Hope. I can try that, yeah. I guess I have a couple lore masters on the server. I could send Tome of the Fox to them. Just thinking my inventory again. Actually, so on this character, I actually want a one-handed weapon. I think I spend most of my time in bear form, but for my group, ideally I would actually have an offhand weapon. Oh, did you want me to grab the others? Okay. I was about to ask about that on my way over. Okay, I have Tana. he's doing a ton of damage to me. Oh, I have a battle res. Oh, apparently I spawned in bear form. It's a little bit weird. Wow. He is doing a ton of damage to me. Triple impale. Yeah, I already... Yep, I already died twice. He does a ton of damage to me. So whatever that triple attack is, that did like... It did 3,000, 3,000, and 2,000, so 8,000 right there, and then he also did a moderate attack before that for 1,000. Shut your mouth for 2,800. Sounds like we might try this again. I have tactical mitigation maxed out for what I have. Yep. Oh, yeah. As much as I can have, which is 50.8 it looks like. It's doing like 3,000, 3,000, and 2,000 all at once. I have, yeah, this would be an upgrade over my other one, so I'll go ahead and equip this. See, this is a bracelet. I want trackers. It's kind of annoying, a lot of the jewelry has the same icon, so I don't know which is which, but usually the one that's on the right will be the one that's second equipped, so it's like the one on the bottom there. Sounds like we might try to get a pug. I don't know if y'all can see the chat that well. I know I have like the Kinship blurred on the right. More for the benefit of the members. Oh, we already had somebody fill up the slot there, but I don't know if y'all can see that, but just the pug there. Got a 68 minstrel, which is fairly close, and while waiting I might as well get some of these glowworms is what I figure. I wonder if you stay rooted until you defeat the glowworms, or if it's just time. Like ideally I could keep running into this web as much as possible, like running in and out of it. Maybe. It's a 25-second route, wow. Oh, so the person in our group, they are switching characters, it sounds like. The pickup person, the pug person. So that looks like it's a 65 Beorning, so a little bit closer. All of those sound useful. So they were asking what this new bear could do. They got tank, like a backup tank or even the primary tank, and I'd become the backup tank if they're level 65, have more like morale and gear. They could also heal, just help a little bit with that and some of the support stuff in the yellow line. And then they could also DPS. I know the Beorning DPS at this level it's still pretty good, but as you get higher level it really doesn't scale too well. Alright, so I think everybody is here. I think we're still waiting on... Somebody might have gone AFK briefly, I don't know. I've just been killing worms here, not paying too much attention. Almost got the base worm slayer, so a fell glow. It's pretty close. I think I do. Maybe I ran out. There we go, found them. Oops. I only meant to pull one while waiting. It's nice, I almost got done with the base deeds for those though. It's a long route. I actually could wear this. This is actually a set I use a little bit. Use it on my champion and maybe guardian on another server. Oh, and Arkenstone on my other server. But it's pretty neat. I just don't think it's that fitting for the Beorning. Okay, so we go left. And I'll pull all of the ads to start. Okay. Okay. So there's one where, yeah. Okay. So I have to get this ad here, and then I think the burglar will get the other one. There we go, getting debuffs rated and all that good stuff. Having the other Beorning helping with the healing with all the damage I'm taking even. Even though that doesn't like reduce the damage when I take a big 8,000 damage burst, it is going to be helpful in having that additional in combat res. In combat res is going to be helpful. Oh, somebody else, I basically wasted my interrupt. Oh, apparently he has a reflect. That would have been helpful to know beforehand, but now that I know, I can adjust a little bit. Probably actually don't want to put a bleed on him. I just used it, but it looks like... Oh, that did 5.1k damage to me. Wow, this boss fight, we thought the second one might have been tough, but this guy's pretty tough. He does At least for me, he just does a ton of damage. The bleeding ears, I think, was an interruptible attack, but just getting that stuff settled a little bit more. Hopefully we can do better. Would it be that helpful? Yeah. That's what got me. So that's the reflect bleeding ears. It sounds like so. Bleeding ears, that thing that killed me, is the reflect. So I just definitely have to pay attention more to that. I probably won't use my bleed. I'll have to be careful to not use that and not use bee swarm. So it reflects 75% of the damage I deal as shadow damage, but probably ends up a little bit more. But one problem I had is even though I think for some reason it works a little bit weird for me, but I'll like press escape, but then his auto attack will keep going on. So then I turn around, but I don't want to turn around since I'm tanking and want all my defenses. So I'm not entirely sure that's the way it worked, but that's just what it seemed like during the boss fight. And I could keep pressing escape, I guess. And eventually I think I stop attacking, because there are mechanics like that I usually do, but often I am doing it as a DPS where it's like safe to just turn around basically. But again, while waiting, I will get these glowworms and we should be good. Oh, I got one of the glowworm slayers. I'm getting probably a lot of LOTRO points tonight. Yeah, my store opens externally, but I was at like 80... I don't know what I was at, but I'm at 87.18 now. Because I don't spend my LOTRO points usually. Unless there's a good sale on something exciting. Then I'll finally spend my LOTRO points. I'll stop with orbs. Hopefully. Don't have many consumables on this character, mainly just the Beorning's honey cake. I think in our... So, we have a kin house, and in the storage I think we have a lot of low-level consumables. I should probably clean that out a little bit. I don't think your thing went red. There we go. For the person in their pug guy. Oh, you'll probably know that. Wait, so I have... So for my playback devices, so the actual in-game sound is going on my speakers there, the soft on speakers, and then I have USB audio device. But it's going on the USB device, so I actually hear that. So basically it works out fine. I could have gotten more worms while that waiting to get the audio set up. I just gotta remember to turn the in-game audio off, because when I play like with my kin, we basically echo through Discord, and doing the LOTRO game chat at the same time it echoes is essentially what happens. I think I've decided I'm going to go ahead and get my fractured runestone for the quest. Okay, so I have to get this ad, and there's going to be an ad in the back I have to get. Oops, I totally missed the boss. Okay, got him in position. Oh yeah, need to not use a bleed. I have him hit with a bleed, but I'm able to restore my morale a little bit more now. My interrupt does damage. Okay. So just gotta remember to not use my bleeds. I probably should take my damage over time skills just like off my bar. I can stay in man form because at least right now with this character he doesn't have enough trait points for those to do bleeds. Oh, that's one thing bad with the cursor trying to hit those, they aren't on a keybind, and that's sometimes with the skills. Oh, I used a bleed, but it was evaded or some sort of missed, avoided. So yeah, this fight, once we learn the bleeding ears, I actually remember this on my Warden, so anybody who knows the Warden probably knows they do a ton of damage over time, and that's what all their damage is based off of. But I should go on bear form for this, but for some reason I don't really remember this fight or remember having that, but now that we're actually doing it, I definitely remember that. Oh, I gotta get him out of that pool. I'm rooted inside the debuff zone, and I keep getting rooted. I'm trying to get out of it. There we go. I know I hit him. Okay, looks like somebody got the interrupt. So I'm using all my damage over time skills, but we're trying... Oh, I might have too much. I might end up dying from that, but he has such little health. I feel like we can take him. Like, he has 4k health, but we do need to be safe rather than... Sorry, I'm gonna try to come back a little bit to safer area. But he has like 4k health, and I know it reflex, but that's kind of crazy. It was like one stab from the burglar, one shot from the hunter. And hey, Din and Jaren. Rather, I should say, make a Vaughn and back. Diseased gland, so got that. That was a pretty tough fight. We did a lot better once we actually... For me, it was remembering. I forgot the reflect was a thing, but after we died from it a couple times, I was like, oh yeah, that was totally a thing I had to worry about on my Warden. I don't know if I've ever done a stream where I have not gotten the hiccups just like totally randomly, but that just happened. 4 earring could be nice for a tactical class. Ooh, universal solvent. That'll be good and strong on the server at some future point. Alright, so we got the challenge done too, I think. So we have 2 chests here. I probably need to go ahead and just vendor some stuff just to get things cleaned up a little bit. But I think I got all my quests done, so I can turn those in and get pretty high into level 60 before I use my Stone of the Tortoise. Lose out on all those good buffs that my current pocket is with. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Worm Slayer. So it sounds like this is where we do the worms. I'm going to go ahead. So anytime I'm free to move, my job is to move into the web as much as possible here, and another one. You can probably go DPS if you want Gunlog. At least I hope these worms don't do that much. I'm thinking. That would be a bit better, but I think we're probably getting pretty close to done because I killed so many and we just need the advanced. Oops. Trying to H on the glowworm just to, because it goes away so quickly for me to see my progress. For anybody that doesn't know, H brings up this like little tooltip panel, anchors it in. It's a useful thing. It's like if I ever make a random LOTRO tips video, that'd just be the type of thing to do it, but whenever I think of tips, it's like so scattered when I'm just doing stuff. I should probably just like list things out a little bit more. Things like that, and then eventually I'll have like a full list and be able to make a video on that. Oh, so Jaren, you are Diadem. I actually remember you made a comment on something recently that you were Diadems. I think Diadem's Black Swan was the full name, but Yeah, you've been away from LOTRO for a while and you hope to be a member of Mithril League still. I don't think we kick anybody out. There's actually some talk about that for like being inactive for like however many years just to keep the kin clean while it's active. Like upkept, rather. So I'm actually not sure if your character name is Diadem. I can actually look. Oh, we only have 18 pages of people in the kinship. So that would be I. Oh, that would actually be after E. Diadem, you're right there. So that character, it looks like, is still in the kinship. I don't remember, so I stopped. Well, I stopped being able to do videos and stream and all that for moving. And I was actually still intending to play LOTRO a little bit, but I really got demotivated to play, as I've talked about, I think, in my return videos and streams and all that sort of stuff. Even though the game was still fun and I eventually returned to it before I could work on videos again. Just whenever I played it made me think about not being able to make videos, and it wasn't as exciting to just play, but anyway. I'm trying to think, I just don't remember much overlap with actually playing with you. And the kin was kind of the point of that, but you said your work took you around the globe. That sounds exciting in a way. Probably a little bit weird this past year, but I'm not sure. This past, like, half year, but yeah, it would be exciting to get back to LOTRO. It's hard for me, even though I do take some breaks from LOTRO, and a little bit less so since doing YouTube, besides that one real long break. I used to like take breaks from it and play different games, but ever since doing it with YouTube so consistently. Yep, thanks. So we need like 50 more, or at least I need 50 more. I'm going to guess everybody in the group was getting progress as I was doing this, but we don't have the Beorning here. That was a pug for this group. It's kind of weird calling it a pug because pug stands for pickup group, but it's basically become its own word that doesn't actually mean, well, it still does mean pickup group, but it can refer to like a player like that. Anyway, off of that sidetrack. See, I need about 50 more. I don't know, there was something I was just like going on about, I thought, then got a sidetrack. But anyway, as far as this deed goes, I need like 40 more, and I think that we will be wrapping up after this. So we've been going, usually we go about 2 hours, a little bit more. It's not like we have a set time for when we do our kin events when we're done with them or whatever. So yeah, we'll probably be getting close to wrapping this up after that. And one thing, again, if anybody like wants to comment on any input on this, I would appreciate it. But on this character, I'm thinking about starting the Mirkwood quest while still doing Moria instances. So I could do those like the Runekeeper and just try to fit in a little bit of Mirkwood questing, not that much, but just a little bit every time we have like a kin event. Although with this low-level group, we usually spend a lot longer doing the Moria instances than like one epic battle, which that epic battle would be like 40 minutes or whatever. even 45-50 minutes just all the setup and leaving, and sometimes we've done war bands after, or even multiple epic battles, but I usually just run one when we do Deeping Wall, and that's about it. And otherwise I have a lot of time that means to do West Rohan questing, but on this character I'd be spending like 90% of the stream doing the Moria instance, and then like 10% actually questing in Mirkwood. And if I were to try to make it like a zone completion series, I would rather it be like its own thing, but if anybody has input on that, kind of the point with that is I'd appreciate it, because I don't know, like I used to do the full zone playthroughs on Anor. Those were exciting, but I'm not sure on a Beorning. And also one thing I was considering was actually reviving my Anor. I used to always call it Anor, but I've tried to call it Anor, which I think is the way it's supposed to be pronounced. It's kind of like Beorning and Beorning. I always called the Beorning as Beorning, but I think it's supposed to be Beorning, so I tried to actually call it by that. But I think it's Anor because it's like in a Norian, like that zone. It's probably the A-N-O-R part of that. And everybody else seems to call it Anor. I don't think I've heard. I might have heard a couple people call it Anor, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I think we are all finally done. So that was exciting. This character has gotten a ton of Virtue XP today. I think gotten like 600 or 800 bonus because we have the 10% Virtue XP weekend going on. So he has good virtues. Fidelity, that actually needs a level up again since my character got a level up. Wit is a little bit of an odd one because it's actually an offensive one. It's just one I had when he was low level. I just like defaulted to putting stuff in Wit, but there are some advantages to doing that. At low level, it's really good to have the finesse. So, yeah, it sounds like we're done. Yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. So yeah, we have a lot of quests to turn in. The person that was the burglar in my group just reminded me of that, Jamal. Also known as Jimmy. Also known as Jimmy Thornshield from Twitter. He's had a few tweets. Like specific tweets I remember that have been pretty popular. There's actually one thing that people have commented on like my videos, and I've seen it randomly throughout like just LOTRO places like the LOTRO forums or Reddit or Twitter or whatever. Actually about he made a tweet about a lantern quest with the Midsummer Festival, and I think I need to go to Shadowed Refuge to turn in most of these quests, but he made a tweet about like the Midsummer Festival quest with the lanterns and how neat it was or something. And then one of the developers that designed the quest actually like commented on that tweet, and it's a pretty famous story, it sounds like, that a developer actually commented on thing, because what I'm thinking specifically most recently is I made the video about like improvements LOTRO needs, and communication would be a good thing, and just hearing from developers from their end about things. Even talking about it like with missions with this update 28 beta. And that's kind of why it's off to a rough start, having some background information on what the developers think about missions and kind of what they expect players to get out of them versus what we expect without actually knowing anything what they're supposed to be. But the point is that tweet that's the person we were grouped with. That tweet was a bit famous if you can call it that, famous a little bit for LOTRO, because it was just like a rare thing to see from developers, so I guess a lot of people caught on with it. In the improvements LOTRO needs video, I know there was at least one, maybe a couple, even comments and mentioning that specific tweet, which was by my kin leader, Jimmy Thornshield specifically. Was kind of what that was all about, I think. Oops, I forgot I was still in the Discord, so see you. There's somebody still in the Discord. I don't know if he was staying there, but hey Hector Mendoza, you asked what server I'm playing on. So this character is on Anor, but I also play on Arkenstone. And Paul Habaseku, maybe that's how you say that. I'm bad with pronouncing names, but I try to pronounce them. You asked if it's fun to play the Beorning, and I think the Beorning is fun to play, but most fun to tank and heal on. I'm not a big fan of their DPS spec. It's not like really bad. I just feel like some things with the gameplay design makes it feel incomplete a little bit, and you spend a lot of time in man form, and I like to play my Beorning. I like the idea of being in bear form more, which you can do a lot more of that in the tank spec. And the healing spec you switch between the two, but it's more in a way that makes sense, at least to me. So that's just my personal thoughts, real quick thoughts at least on the class. But in general, I find it fun to play, especially tanking would probably be the best way to put it. But for the server, I think I mentioned this character is on Anor. I also play on Arkenstone, would be my other server. So I used to play on Arkenstone, then the legendary servers were launched, and a lot of old people I played with started new on Anor, and so did I, and got to do a lot of fun low-level content. And even as they've gone up, I've stayed like playing with that kin, even though there's been some exciting new content on like the regular servers at level 130 that I'm getting to. So I kind of play on both now. Split my time maybe pretty evenly between the two even. Ooh, legendary Moria to do all these. I don't know the legendary coins of Moria. I forget what you can get from those exactly. Just some cosmetics title. I almost feel like the title would be the most exciting thing. Cloak of the Watcher could be good if it's a good looking cloak. But otherwise, ooh, that cloak actually matches this outfit pretty well. The colors line up pretty decently when it's dyed red. Sometimes dyes don't look the exact same on two different pieces of clothing, like from two different sets. So like this cloak, the red actually matches the red of my armor, but then I don't know that that'd be goldish, but tannish off-white matches a little bit with that of mine. But anyway, it's kind of weird. The cloak actually goes above these UI panels. Wonder, I guess the whole character renders above the UI panels. That's a little bit weird to zoom in and out. So Paul, you said you're leveling a Warden now in the red line, and it's pretty fun. Yeah, the Warden's my favorite class. That one is definitely fun in the red line. It is good, fun DPS. But I'm thinking that it's probably a good time to wrap up this stream. I know it sounds like a couple people just joined in, a little bit of chat there, but yeah, I think this is a good point to get things wrapped up. So just a little bit of an outlook for the future. I mentioned a couple times throughout the stream that I will be busy this weekend. I have a good old exam on Monday that I need to prepare for, and otherwise after that I should open up a little bit. So I'll probably stream tomorrow, like early afternoon sometime, 12 p.m., 1 p.m. like server time. So like 12 p.m. my time is probably when I would try to stream tomorrow. And otherwise, if any very exciting topics come up, I'll try to make videos on that. But otherwise, I will probably upload, like I have probably a hunter guide that I'll try to upload maybe. I don't know if I'll stream Sunday. I'd actually probably like to stream Sunday evening as a little break for the evening. So yeah, maybe just a couple of streams this weekend and then a video Monday. I'll have a Hunter Guide Mondays. That's at least my loose plan, so that's just to give you all an outlook for the brief future, as I usually do at the end of the stream. And then to recap a little bit with this stream, we did Scumfill, did a lot of deeds, and then we did the Dark Delvings instance and did a couple more deeds, so I got a bunch of Virtue XP, and we have the 10% Virtue XP weekend, so that was nice. So good progress on this character all around with that. And I got him level 60. Soon I will use my Stone of the Tortoise when I get like as close to level 61 as possible as I can get without actually leveling up. But anyway, as far as this stream, I hope everybody has enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more and all that usual stuff. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.